So hi, welcome to Guys Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with.
I'm Zach.
I'm Ivan.
I'm Brian, and we're in good terms.
There are some questions today about the upcoming album Burnout. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you guys feel about the response to the announcement so far?
Very good, man. Very good.
Excited, man.
Yeah, we've been putting out a pretty eclectic smorgasbord of tunes for the people, and they are very accepting. So
yeah,
we appreciate that of our fans.
That's good. Accepting's good. The album is fucking awesome.
It's incredible. I fucking love
Thank
it.
you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys. That's awesome.
I'm glad you got to check it out beforehand.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Sorry it took us so long to get you that link.
It's okay. Appreciate you sliding it over this morning. Good listen
better
to
late
it.
than never.
Yeah, better than like 5 minutes before you being like, oh, by the way, see you in
Here it
5.
is. Sorry. So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
There's a lot of themes on the album. The three of us are the main songwriters of the band. Like, we write all of our songs with our bassist Gio and our drummer Brendan as well. But at least like the lyrics melody portion is mostly the three of us, and we all kind of bring a lot of things and write about our own lives and try to find the pieces where they sort of overlap. And at one point I went through every lyric of the album that was like, this could work, and even some that I'm like, I don't like this, but it's at least an option. And then we all sat down and were like, we wanted to have something that kind of like connected all the themes. And Burnout kind of just felt like, you know, the thing that kind of like told the story of this chapter of our lives that we wrote about, and also had like a lot of the connection of like my things that I was writing about, and Ivan's and Brian's, and like the way that we kind of combined everything together. And that just kind of, I said going in, like, our first album was called Turning Point, and it is a song on the album called Turning Point, but Ivan, we were leaving the last recording studio that we did for it, and he was like, dude, this song, or like this album, just needs to be called Turning Point, because this is just about us actively trying to change our lives with this album, with starting this band, doing this thing together. And so I wasn't like looking for necessarily like the summary that this album is, but I just wanted to feel like you flip the page into chapter 2 of Good Terms, and what is that chapter titled? And it just felt very appropriate that it was entitled Burnout. And I feel like all the proof is in the lyrics for anyone who wants to dig deeper with that. But yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
And is there any
The
meaning
art-
behind the cover art?
Yeah, the art. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Check. Great. The art was done by fantastic artist Don Fury, who's done some of our favorite album covers. He did Brain Pain by 4 Year. He did the new Better Lovers record. And we got to just hand him the record and the lyrics and say, just react to this, which was nice because on our last record, we had a pretty detailed vision for what we wanted it to be, and it was just a little messy getting it all done. We had a great artist for that too. But the process was just a little sticky, and Don Fury sent us back, a couple passes of it, and the pass that was, the closest to this one, just stuck out to us as being the one that was the most true. And there's a couple things in there that are really meaningful to us. I mean, we really cared about the colors. We really cared about, various things being on fire and whatnot. But there's a lot of stuff that he just threw in there too. The monster arms and the demon, like stuff that we didn't see coming. I mean, even the whole, image of the boy, like, I don't think that's what any of us were envisioning going into the process. But when it was all finished, it did feel like, wow, yeah, that sums it up, baby. That's me. I'm the stupid little idiot dunce boy, for sure, at times.
Oh yeah.
It was definitely the
Fuck yeah.
dream. It was the dream scenario of hiring an artist that I feel like we worked with a lot of great artists, but we've wanted this situation for a while where it's just been like, dude, we're not visual artists. We're not illustrators. Like, we have ideas that we can, pitch to you or something, but like, I kind of almost don't even want to do that. I kind of want to just get your reaction. And he said that right off the top. He was just like, just send me the album, and I want to just make something. Or he had heard it at this point, and he was like, this album is like really like wide but also specific, and I want to do something that I just want to make the art just look like the way the album sounds. And we were like, yes, absolutely, please do that.
Yeah.
And he sent us like 4 sort of like sketches of the paths we could go, and we kind of didn't like 2, really liked 2, and we're like, let's just make a hybrid of these. And the next draft he sent back, and they looked really good. Like we kind of thought, we were like, oh, that's probably like pretty much done. And then the next draft he sent back of like the combining of the 2 was like,
Yeah.
it was, we were like, oh, I didn't realize it was going to get this better.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah, so we're very excited. It was just nice to have like another artist respond to your art. It's kind of the dream scenario.
Exactly. I always love
Sure.
when artists kind of just hand over the keys per se, and they're just like, whatever this speaks to you is like kind of what we'll go with. We don't have a vision. Whatever your vision is what we're gonna kind of co-sign.
Yeah, it felt really nice to just find an artistic black box that we could put in the thing we worked really hard on, and then they would put out their version of that instead of us trying to like, handhold and try to be the artists that we aren't. It's like we've already done our part. Like have somebody who's equally, if not way better at what they do, react to ours, and it was a very organic. It was really nice to do. It reminds me of like, like there's nothing that makes sense with a prism and the dark side of the moon. Like if you just give them the record name Dark Side of the Moon, you wouldn't think, oh, I'll do something with rainbows.
Mhm.
It doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah.
But now it's like, well, that makes complete sense. Like, of course you do that, because an artist was just like, I'm gonna vibe on it, and this is what I'm gonna do. And it's like, obviously, it's the most like iconic album art of all time.
For
And
sure.
I'm not drawing any comparisons, but the feeling of like what we associate in post with things and how much that makes sense. Like I was just looking at the list Zach was referring to of our proposed album names, and before we chose something, I was paralyzed. Like all of these would work, and I could support it with the text. And now I'm looking at them like none of those could have been it. Only Burnout, obviously.
Mhm.
And it just goes to show like you have to make a decision, trust your gut, and then also trust that the association will be made afterward, and it'll never be able to be unmade. It'll feel right because it is right. And yeah, it was a great process for that little bit.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Trust
Hell
your
yeah.
intuition.
Yep. So can you guys tell us a little bit about your writing process for the album?
On our last record, Zach did everybody a massive favor and started this fucking band. And
I did.
with our first record, changed our lives, turning point for all of us, of course. But Zach had a lot of those songs at least half written. I mean, Zach had a lot of co-writes, or he wrote some songs himself, or I came in, things were halfway done, and like that was a great experience. Totally changed our lives. We're all here now because of that. But on this record, we got to be like, all right, let's do some different things. And so there's like a couple different strains of processes I think that we followed on this one. Like there are some songs that Zach brought in that we all then touched on, like mostly the 3 of us lyrically, and then bringing it to Gio and Brendan to flesh out. There's some songs that I brought in that, and Zach and I have really different ways of doing things. Like Zach is very detail oriented and like kind of gets a thing and then goes from there and finishes it. Whereas I'm much more big picture in, so I make a whole song in 15 minutes, and then we spend a lot of time punching it up and making it better. And Ivan gotten to bring, Ivan bringing in guitar riffs and lyrics and song seeds and lead guitar parts to the songs that we'd already written was just, a really, really exciting like new playground for us to work on. I'd say for all of them, we brought in some stuff. I don't think we really had any songs where we were like, let's just get in a room and write something. Like we always came with something. The 3 of us really would punch up each other's writing. Like we really trust each other. We've written a lot of songs together. We know what the other person is into. The other person, like I know what Ivan is going to bring to the table. Ivan is very like taste and feel and like the little words and the how they mean the big things, and Zach is very functional, and I mean I'm kind of I'm oversimplifying it,
Yeah,
but
of course.
we just really trust each other. And then once we got that together, we'd have a demo for something, and then we would bring in Gio, our bassist, who is also mixed the whole record, who often would have some sort of like, this is great, but you need to add like 8 bars of something that you never would have thought of before, and it'll make this whole chorus hit differently. He did that on Drive-In, he did that on Cough, all of the like feedback at the break before the breakdown in Cough, that was all Gio. Or Zach had that, but what Gio changed a little bit. And Brendan, our drummer, it's just like, I don't even know how to describe what it's like to work with Brendan, because you could just give him everything and he'll turn everything into 5 times as many things for you to choose from in a really great way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I produced all the songs, or I co-produced a couple of them with our bassist Gio, but I was sort of like the keeper of the record the whole time. Like I have the Pro Tool sessions, they always kind of start like, I would say, at least with this album, everything usually started with like either it was a song that Brian had made a voice memo for, and we were kind of like, okay, cool, like this is kind of like an acoustic guitar part with vocals that we can like really hear, or he's done like kind of a rough demo. We're like, okay, cool, and he's great. And anytime he makes something, we call it like not having babies. He's like, oh, I don't care, I don't have any babies. Like if you like this, great, it's a starting point. If you don't, I don't give a shit. Which is like, nice that he's not. I'll get like a little more precious about something when I'm like, oh, this is done, just because I've like checked that box in my head. But so we've started songs like that, or just with a riff. And the three of us kind of like come in with various ideas, but I feel like it doesn't really feel like a good term song until the three of us have been like, I am down with every lyric and guitar part on the song.
Yeah.
And I think like that's kind of like our writing sauce, is the three of us doing it together. And yeah, I mean, I can definitely like, I'll give Ivan a chance to talk before I do this, but I can dig into like exactly how we did all of the production shit if you want, if that's interesting.
Sure.
That whole process. But yeah, Ivan, you chime in.
Yeah, I mean, as far as writing process goes, I think you guys kind of covered the gambit there. Various amounts of song seeds versus like a lot of kid stuff will show up with like a voice memo of him on acoustic guitar. Like he's gotten more into producing like his own demos now, but my favorite stuff is always when it's just like a voice memo of literally him just singing what sounds like just a song that I've always known from one of my favorite bands. And that's just super rad. And Zach will like have this extremely articulate and like produce like breakdown and chorus, or like just like 2 sections that are just like, oh, okay, well, I immediately know what this song sounds like from go. And and then again, oversimplifying, I will usually I have to be coaxed out of the bushes as a songwriter, and these two are very good at, come on.
It's okay. It's safe here.
Water's
Totally.
nice.
Yeah. I think I've gotten it down to, if I can smell that it came from me, only me first, I'll hate it. But if like, well, actually they were there from the start, so maybe it's good.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because, mental illness, awesome.
Goddamn right.
But yeah, we all have, our Venn diagrams have a lot in the center, and the things that are specific to us are really important. That all kind of make, I think we could do a lot with just what's in the center, but what's outside makes us, I think, more important and stands apart, and it accounts for a lot of the reason that we don't have a really good analogous band that I can think of. Just the little bits and bobs that are just like, and again, maybe any two of us or any other combination, but the full combination of us is just really weird and specific. And I think it goes a long way toward making our sound. Even just like our philosophy toward, Kid is an absolute like creative astronaut who is, just as likely to lose his phone for half the session as is to come up with the best line. Zach is super, super regimented and articulate. Again, generalizing, we can all stray out of this. And then I'm like very romantic about shit and will will just like veer toward like over artistifying everything.
Yeah.
And it just, instead of it could very easily sometimes become this like shitty amalgam where you think you're going to blend all the colors and get a rainbow, but you get just like mud. But instead it actually ends up being a really good balance of things. And I think the most important part is, instead of all of us coming out with an even split, all of us know like, oh, we need to let Zach win right here, or we need to let Kid win right here, or we need to let me win right here, because that's the good thing. That's where that needs to shine, and then that needs to shine here. I think you could pull any song of ours, and I could tell you, well, that's that, and that's that, and that was this, but now it's this because of that, and
Yeah.
it just kind of all works out that way.
I think going off what Ivan said, like the combination of what Ivan said about the Venn diagrams and what Zach said about it doesn't feel like a good term song until the three of us have okayed every aspect of it, is like that's how we're getting songs like High Right Now, which is like our dancey indie pop emo thing, and Mask, which is our like Under Oath counterparts, Etid screaming our head off, and Drive In, just the good old fashioned emo pop punk. Like that was not the plan to make, a record that wide, but just through the virtue of those Venn diagrams and all of us getting our hands on everything and just knowing what we trust about each other's taste, that's how we ended up being like, yeah, all of that belongs in the same record by the same band.
Yeah, exactly.
Why the fuck
Yeah,
not?
I feel like a lot of bands, Ivan and I were just talking about this weekend. We just shot a video for the song Reaching, that track 4 on the record, which is going to be a dope video, probably the best Good Terms video.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
We're really excited about it. It was a really fun day. We went in, so we made a first album, a lot of that was me making the band by making songs. And like they said, I did a lot of co-writes. Like I did co-writes I was like, I have Pro Tools, I have guitar, I know how to write drum parts. Like I can't really sing, but I can I know, I sing a little bit. But like, I'm not a lead singer. I just knew that going in. So I was like, I had to find the singer, and eventually was like, oh, I know Brian likes this music, wrote songs with him. I know Ivan likes this music, wrote songs with him. And the idea was like, I just want to be in my own band where I think everything is dope and I can play distortion and like play breakdowns and write riffs that I think are dope. And someone can't, like, leading up to this, it was a lot of like, well, is that the kind of thing that we're trying to be? It's like, I didn't want to go in with any intention of like, well, no, but like people will be like, oh, I want to be I'm in this indie band, but I actually really want to be in a hardcore band. So like, I'm just gonna make a separate hardcore band. I'm like, no, I want to be in a pop band and a hardcore band
at the same time.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And we're definitely like in the future trying to tighten that and get it like.
We maybe took it too far in a few places, but we stand by it.
The record was a little all over the place, but
we stand
cohesive.
the fuck by it, though.
Yeah, you're goddamn right.
That's what we fucking did.
It was cohesive chaos.
Exactly. Yeah. We'll I think we would, but we wouldn't be in the position that we are now, where we're like, cool, we know that we did that, so we now know the step forward that we need to take. Before, it was like we did do whatever we wanted, but it was just a lot of me in charge and like kind of having a lot of stuff like, done or I just guess committed to, in a way that like my guys were like, well, yeah, I didn't write on this, but like I think it's great, so like I don't need to delete something just to insert myself into it. It'd be a lot of songs that would be like, this one was really just me and Ivan and no Brian, or this one was really just me and Brian, no Ivan. Like some of them we did when Ivan wasn't even living in LA yet, and whatever. So I think this time it was kind of just like, we knew that we wanted to collaborate more. We knew that we wanted to feel everything a little bit more equally within like each of our own tastes and parts and influences and things you're bringing to the table. Like the first song that was done for this is the song Blurry. And on our first album, I was a lyricist on every song, even though some were like, I wrote technically less or than maybe Brian or Ivan or whoever, but it was always like, okay, I'm a equal-ish contributing member. And Brian just sang us Blurry, and we were like, yeah, this is done. And that
Yeah.
was,
Yeah, no notes, no notes.
Check.
I got that one in, baby.
and that was, you know, the first one that we
Swish.
got. And that was definitely like a step forward to be like, it was actually done. The demo of Blurry was done before we put out the first album or even like recorded drums for
Oh,
it.
shit.
And our bassist Gio was like, this is really awesome. This kind of just sounds like the next record to me.
Mhm.
And we were
Hmm.
like, we're all like, yeah, it is. So we kind of finished the first one the way it was and then had that as a jumping off point
Dope.
to go with this. But I had a point that I was going to bring up with this. Oh yeah, we didn't know the type of band that we wanted to be. You know, going in, we didn't want to say on paper like this is our branded sound. We want to be this mixed with this mixed with this. We were just like, I know what I like, and I trust my guys, and that's like the biggest thing of it. I was saying this, I forget to who the other day, but I was saying like we have the same definition of what is whack. We don't always
Good.
like the same thing doesn't always make all of us go fuck yeah in the same way, but we all know when something is definitely not it.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
feel like, you know, and that's cool. There's plenty of stuff that like I personally think is whack that is
Mhm.
totally valid and successful as art.
Mhm.
But that's just not what I'm trying to do, and it's not what my friends are
Exactly.
trying to do.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think we ended up with being like, I like, you know, pop a lot. I like metal a lot. I like heavy shit. Like I like sugary melodies. I
Mhm.
love like visceral, horrific screaming. Like those both have a place. Like I remember just listening to um like my Bluetooth speaker in the shower and when like early in the process of making this record. And I just play usually I just play my liked songs playlist on shuffle
Mhm.
and it just jumps between genres all over the place. And I was like, you know, I don't know if I want to make a record like this again, but at the time I was like, I just want to make a record that's like this. That's just like my liked songs playlist. That's just
Mhm.
everything that has passed through my filter and my guy's filter of I fuck with this. And then
Mhm.
if we fuck with it, like then hopefully the people that, you know, want to listen to it will. But that's at least like a safe place to begin with. And then, you know, we're also like, what do we like making? What feels the sickest to us? Like what are the most fun songs to play live? And now we have, I think, all those answers. Whereas before that was like and definitely an unanswered question. And now we're kind of like, oh, I like this. This is cool, but maybe I don't want to do this as much anymore.
Yeah.
And but it's coming from like internal, not, oh, this did really well for us, so let's do it again.
Mhm.
You know, it's like I don't want to start from like we had a weird successful moment of something that, you know, we have to feel like we have to do again or repeat ourselves or whatever. It's just like we can always do it again because it came from the source of what we think is rad.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So, what song off the album took the longest to write, and then which one is each of your own personal favorite?
Ooh, which one
I'll
took
go
the
last.
longest to write?
Mm-hmm. The longest to write.
My personal favorite is "Hear Me Out," which I didn't have very much to do with. I wrote they these guys had already written everything up to the second verse, and I think I was in the writing session for the second verse.
Mhm.
So which is like 6 lines. And that's part of the reason I love it so much is when I heard the demo for it, and I just could so clearly for the first time ever like be like, there's Zach playing the genty distorted part, and there's Ivan playing the Stratocaster more funky thing. And I felt like I was listening to Appetite for Destruction. I felt like I was listening to Guns N' Roses. I was like, I can just totally hear these guys,
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna go in the middle, and they already have the fucking first verse and the chorus written for me, and I'm just gonna try really hard to sound good. So that's, and I was like, let's drop all those songs. Let's just do this for the rest of the record,
Yeah.
and you know we ended up going more in the direction that we just described.
Yeah.
Mm.
And now you know we have a million places that we can go from going forward.
Yeah.
But Hear Me Out is definitely my favorite. Dude, the longest to write though.
Is it technically Mirror Mirror?
Mirror Mirror we wrote during the pandemic, or we started writing during the pandemic.
Mhm.
One of the very few times that we got together with our bassist Gio from the beginning. But it was like he was in our pandemic bubble, so he was in like a different room, and we were Zoom calling in, and we like got this song seed down. You know, we got kind of the beginning of it and a couple other like things recorded that we didn't know what order they went in, but we kind of knew like, okay, we wanted there to be a build, we wanted there to be a the second verse, we want a verse like this.
Yeah.
And then that like gestated for like 3.5 years before we kind of did the rest of the record before we were able to come back around, and Zach had finished the lyrics, which is crazy because I should probably let you talk about this, dude. But like, this is kind of Zach's arc, his journey with his family, and things had changed in those 3.5 years since he had written the first verse and chorus. And so when he came up, I remember when he came up with the lyrics to the end of it, I was like, you fucking done it, man. Like,
Yeah.
you did a kick flip and then you did the other trick and you landed it. Like,
Yeah.
it's really, I was really impressed with the story that he was able to tell. And then I was like, what if we have a 2.5 minute guitar solo that I play? Which totally was like, okay, cool. It's gonna take 8 months longer to finish writing this now.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
So
it was Mirror Mirror. Mirror Mirror was the longest one for sure.
I think Mirror Mirror was the longest one.
Yeah, these songs were very challenging. Like if we were just like, oh, we're gonna make an album that's just, a bunch of songs like Drive In or Cough, maybe even like, or a lot of or Reaching, like we know how to make those songs. Those are very like, okay, we're coming up on the second pre-chorus. The second verse did this. I know what I'm gonna do here.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of had like our tricks that we could kind of rely on. And for whatever reason, this entire album, we just decided to use none of them. except maybe Reaching, I went in and intentionally was like, I just want to make a song that's an updated version of kind of what we did on our first album.
Mm.
Punk beat, fast, more pop punky, a little more pushy, aggressive vocal. What?
Is Reaching the only pop punk beat?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I had one originally in Blurry, but we took it out.
Also.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like
song.
When we made like the first 6 songs that were done were the first 6 we released as a single. Like I am pretty anti EP and I'm anti standalone single. I love collecting vinyl, and I'm like, if you put out a song and it's good, I just want to own it on vinyl.
Yeah.
Like even if I own it in a fake vinyl, like, and just listen on Spotify, like I just want to click on a thing and listen to this era. And if somebody does like Tearing the Fabric of Life, Knocked Loose EP, where it's like, here's 6 songs that have like this specific thing and it's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
I like that too.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's just like, dude, don't like, just write more songs and just make them good and give them the whole thing.
Just write more songs, guys. Come on. Stop EPs. Yeah.
So, but we're also very pro single, where it was like, that's a way for us to grow and reach new people.
Of course.
And it just made a lot of sense as we did this to write 3 songs at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And record the drums. We were like, we can reasonably record drums, at least initially. We were like, we could do 3 songs in a drum session. So let's get 3 ready to be done, track the drums, I'll edit the drums, and then, put our mix prep together, put everything like finished, and then mix it. And then we can just have the songs done and release them one by one. However, we got to the point that we did that 6 times with 6 songs. And we were like, what are the songs that are remaining that we want to finish? And for whatever reason, we chose the 6 like most different songs from each other and from the other 6 that we did. And we did those. And I feel like there's definitely 3 songs on this that I was like, cool, I don't want to produce or write a song like this again. Like I did it, I'm good. And that can totally change in the future, but like the feeling after it was like, that's one of the reasons it's called Burnout. It was just like, for maybe not even a good reason, just pushing ourselves so fucking hard to create something that we thought had never been made, or we just had never made ourselves. So it was like, there was no easy song to work on this. Mirror Mirror probably took the longest, but that was
the longest technical writing.
Yeah, but I feel
they
like
were all crazy.
Every song has its own, like, to me, like brutal struggle that it went through. Like Hear Me Out, we had that thing that Brian's describing where we like got it up to a certain point, tracked his vocal, had the 2 guitar parts, and we're like, does this suck? And it like needed so much more perspective. And like, yeah, pretty much every song on this has gone through some version of that. The only one maybe that didn't was Drive In. Drive In was just like the second we had that, we were like, oh, this is our best song. Nice.
Yeah.
Some of them were easier. Blurry was a little bit easier. Yeah, I don't know.
What are your favorites though?
It's really hard to say. Ivan, what's yours?
I'll just pass the potato.
Pick one. Pick a child to love more than the others.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's easy. It's one that isn't really mine.
I saw that coming.
I think either Chickweed or Cough. Cough is just like, it's such a, oh yeah, Cough, you like Cough? Like our best performing song right now. It's also so worth best performing.
Yeah.
But Chickweed, like,
Off gives me that fuzzy feeling for sure.
Cough is real good.
I also just remember like
Chickweed-
writing it. I'm so stoked that it worked.
Chickweed and Keeper are like, I want Justice for Keeper because
Justice for Keeper.
it's a real good song and no one gives a shit about it, but it's real good.
Okay,
And
I'll make that
Chickweed,
t-shirt.
I'm so no, maybe we shouldn't. Chickweed, I'm so worried that people won't give it a chance because it's because our last single was fucking Mask, and so but I just love like 2 fucking love songs. Like it's really easy for me to write and love sad and angry. It's hard to like non-cheesily get across happy, gooey love. And it's not just happy, gooey either. It's all of it's very complicated. And
The secret
Kid
ingredient
is
is
very,
self-love.
yeah, exactly. Introduce self-pissed to the it's like, oh well, I could do sad and angry. What if I just do love song by Sad and Angry at Me and crazy that you love me despite that. So yeah, I think again the romantic nostalgic, I'm gonna say Chickweed. God, I hope that song goes the way it does for me. It's so good.
By the time
and Brianna's feature on it is just,
I'm gonna make no
gobsmacking.
content for it. It's gonna fail.
yeah.
I'm not even gonna try.
By the time this is out, the fans are just gonna have to listen to this and be like, Kid over there isn't making any content. We're gonna have to lift
What
this up
song?
ourselves. Yeah.
Which song?
What song? You mean
What?
the sleeper in the middle?
Oh, the one I skipped.
God.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, what? That was on the album?
It is a
are all-
great
I
song
hope
though.
I hope that the feature just like makes people like, maybe I should check that one out just in case,
Yeah.
because it's really so good. It's
Yeah.
really so
She
bad.
killed it.
Yeah, these are all my children, and it's really hard to like pick one, but I think it's just Old Friend. That's
Nice.
like playing it live, it doesn't hit the same way live. It like we're like, that could maybe not be in our set list that much, going. It doesn't feel like it's gonna be a set list staple for us in like, years from now. But like writing that song was probably the most I've like cried while writing a song. The lyrics just like it was a very I heard somebody say like when you're writing a song, if it doesn't like scare you a little bit, you're probably not doing it right. Or you're not as if you like make something and you're like a little scared to put it out, like that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And like that song is like about my relationship with my dad, who is my favorite person and he's my best friend, but we also have like a lot of conflict that we've like I think gotten over for the most part, but like it's not going to ever fully go away, and the lyrics explain why, but like yeah, like that's just I think finishing that is just the lyrically and everything about it was like really special to me. But it also just the recording just fucking rocks. It's just like maybe my favorite sounding recording on the record. Another one that was a struggle to get to sound how it does, but we have a lot of that. We have a lot of like no one's happy, keep pushing, and then everyone's like yeah, we got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the path that like every song has gone on in writing wise, production wise, mix wise, but like, it's kind of what it's all about.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna give myself an honorary mention,
Okay.
and it's Mask. Mask was fun fact that Mask was never supposed to be a single. It was always kind of obviously it was supposed to be like the sleeper heavy
Sleeper hit.
song that only the people who would care about the heavy stuff would really take it away from the record. But ended up being a single because the album came out or is coming out a little later than we initially planned on, and we needed a single to work on, and the heavy stuff was working for us, so we went with Mask. And so we've been playing it live, and that has been an absolute blast, man.
Fuck yeah.
It has me thinking that the next record should just be totally screamed, all heavy.
Oh yeah.
I've been watching a lot of Slipknot videos recently.
Hey.
Like that's the direction we should go in. Like not really, but that's what it inspires
Been
in me.
watching Slipknot videos.
I'm watching a lot of Slipknot videos lately. Yeah, I have been.
Shout out Slipknot, honestly.
Shout out Slipknot.
Yeah, they kick ass for sure.
Big band.
And I
Corey
it's just
Taylor.
there's a lot of fire in that song, man. And I got to write lead guitar on it, which I didn't do a lot of lead guitar on the record.
Oh, fuck
Sorry,
yeah.
Ivan's playing it live.
Oh.
But yeah, so I just wanted to give myself a runner up.
Yeah, damn right.
Real dickhead lines for me to play. Zach has the worst of them, but yeah.
That's great. So how'd the track list for your album come about? Did you guys write the opener be the opener, closer be a closer, shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
We had a couple different approaches that we took, but Zach came up with the final track list.
Yeah, like I said before, we had the 6 songs done that were like, we envision these being 6 songs of an album. And then we determined what that like final number should be, which we determined should be 12. And even though Same Team's kind of like a half song or like a 3/4 intro song, it was kind of like I got everything to a point, or like we had sort of this collection of folders or a collection of songs just in our like contenders folder. And we kind of just pick from those. And there was always kind of like all right, well, we'll get to 6 and then what's missing. And we, at that point, kind of had Mirror Mirror that felt this could maybe be like steered to be this climactic closer, which it became. We had Same Team that was kind of always meant to be like, I actually wrote it to just be a show opener. Remember, like, speaking of Devil Wears Prada, like they used to do that song Martyrs. Was like just written as a show opener. So they would like open like the album cycle before. They would just play the breakdown. And then eventually they were probably just like, oh, that'll go somewhere else. Or maybe always was supposed to, but they were playing it long enough that I think they were like, I wanted to like just begin with something that just punched you in the face right from the start, which was Team. And then a lot of the other ones were just like, well, we don't really have like a fast punky one. Let's do Reaching. We don't really have like a sort of kind of quasi ballad one. Let's do Chickweed. And Mask was kind of always like, I don't know, maybe. I was the one I think pushing the most to make it. And then by the time it was done, I was like, did we just make a huge mistake? Is this
No, every song should be like that.
I think I was the first to regret it. High Right Now was like the most fun for me to put together. These guys just got extremely baked like about a year ago.
All right.
That was the quickest song to be done.
You might have learned something about the process there.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's honestly that actually, despite all the weed references, we usually don't write like that. They just like had a fun day as friends and cooked that up. And then it was like right when I went home to like, it was a Christmas last year that they wrote this like initial demo. And I don't have a drum set here in my apartment, but I have one in my house that I grew up in Virginia. And I
Shout
just
out Virginia.
Shout out Virginia. We're actually all from
Virginia. We were all from Virginia. Where are you from?
Oh,
Where are you
fuck
from,
yeah.
Virginia?
I'm from fucking Virginia, Suffolk.
Suffolk, very cool.
Oh,
Yeah. Wait, whereabouts are you guys? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I heard Virginia. My ears
No,
perked
hell yeah,
out.
Virginia.
Like, Nova. Oh,
we
shit.
put
Yeah.
Virginia in Cough too. Cough, Virginia's in the lyrics to Cough.
Oh,
from-
fuck yeah.
We're from like Loudoun County, Fairfax County.
Fairfax. Gotcha. Okay.
Really
yeah,
Loudoun. Really Loudoun. I was born in Fairfax.
Oh,
Ivan,
okay.
you were born in DC, but we all ended up meeting in Loudoun County.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so cool. Fuck yeah.
DC
Yeah.
suburb, drummers from Southern Maryland, DC suburb, Rockville, Maryland.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But yeah, I was like, I just went home and I was like, it annoyed me how much when we would make songs, I was so jealous of other bands that were like, I like every song, like I program all these difficult drum parts. And I was like, I just want to make something that's like the simplest beat the whole time. If we
Mhm.
can't make a good song with the same beat the whole time, then like we got to be able to do that. And I just was listening to a lot of pop at the time, and I was like, I just want to make that just disco beat the whole
Yeah.
fucking song. And then eventually I was like, eventually it'll just crash and get to like the big section at the end and do that version of the disco beat. And just like came together so quickly and it was so fun. Like every time I finished any version of it, like we finished tracking the drums, we were like, God damn, the song is just so fucking fun. And it's just, yeah, that will be my my honorable mention, I guess. But yeah, the track list of it was like we have all these really ridiculously different pieces. How do we kind of streamline it?
Yeah.
I was used to like issues albums or
Mm.
you know more like genre bending. Bill Murray kind of does this too, where like
Mm.
you kind of put opposite songs next to each other,
Mhm.
and our
Okay.
manager was like, "Dude, don't do that. Like it's just way too crazy." So I
Yeah.
kind of tried to steer it. It's like the first four are like, it's kind of like what Good Terms is about. Hear Me Out. Higher Now starts to venture pop. Then it kind of like, all right, kind of settles back to the middle a little bit. Then it gets really fucking heavy and then kind of adjusts back. So it's kind of like, takes you on a ride.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I know you mentioned you're a big vinyl head. Was that in your mind at all while you were sequencing like the A B of the vinyl?
Yeah, I was pretty worried that it was going to have to be cut in like a really weird place, but right now it ends that side B or side A ends with Chickweed.
Mhm.
It's like a clean fade out, just like ends, and then side B begins with just blurry. She said, and just immediately like hits you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. All right.
yeah. That was also having a 7-minute song to contend with in the track listing was also a little tough. There's multiple times I moved all the pieces around to be like, no, it's got to be this way,
Yeah.
Yeah. Solid. So this one should be super, super quick off the top of your heads. I want you guys to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. 3 words each, 9 total, no more, no less.
I got 2 words. Maybe someone can help me out with the third one, which I know is not what we said we're going to do. But broad and vulnerable are
Oh.
2 words that I'm like, okay, those apply to the whole thing. Even the songs I feel like are broad within themselves. And definitely vulnerable. They're all vulnerable, like Zach was talking about. You got to be scared to put the song out. Like Blurry was the first song that I wrote really for this band at all. And I was scared as fuck. I was like, I hate writing this. This sucks. God fucking damn it.
Yeah.
But it rips. So broad, vulnerable, sick.
Coping.
That can be one of your words. I'm gonna go with sick though, because I need one to do this. And there were a lot of times where we were trying to figure out what to do, and we were like, wait a minute, guys, we're too in the weeds. Let's just go with whatever is the most sick. And that was I feel like that was hilariously actually a guiding word for us. So my 3 words are broad, vulnerable, and sick. Good luck.
Zach, what do you got?
I'm gonna close it because I'm gonna
You're signing up to close
it. The last one is gonna have fireworks. Trust me.
Every time someone signs up to close it, they regret it. So I hope you don't regret this.
I'm not going to.
I hope he does. I fucking do.
Got it, man. Go for it.
Yeah, I think coping, although I wish I could figure out a better part of speech for that. But that's definitely a lot of the whole record. Heavy, more in metaphor than reality, but often in reality. Indulgent.
There you go.
I like that word. Yeah.
Yes, that is the word. Holy shit.
Okay, kid, say your 3 words really quick.
Oh, here it goes.
Broad, vulnerable, and sick.
Ivan?
Coping, heavy, indulgent.
Okay. And mine are hell yeah, brother.
Are you fucking kidding me? I hated
Hell
that.
yeah.
I hated that. No.
Fucking shit, dude. He did
That's
it.
so fucking awesome. Hell
That little
yeah,
droid did it.
brother.
No way.
Little
No
droid did it.
fucking way.
And I love that Zach
Mm.
goes, everybody say your 3 words before I go, because now I can just, it looks like there was no thought process. That did not take 5 minutes. That took 30 seconds.
That was beautiful, actually. Yeah. Yeah.
I did
You
that
know
for
what?
what?
It's the cop out that I wasn't brave enough for. Because I
That's
literally was
fair.
like,
Honestly, I did that for
I-
the effect. I did that for the effect. I actually have 3.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I drove by Hell Yeah Brother at 100 miles an hour. I was like, maybe not. It's actually good.
No, what I was gonna say before I decided that would be the funnier option, I was gonna say that the album is anxious,
Mhm.
sincere, and then as one word, hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah. Brother.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful.
That's fair.
Wonderful.
All right.
That's fair.
Fuck with it.
Love it.
Is you accept that?
I accept that. Yeah.
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 Hell yeah. So for this question, I want you guys to picture you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
Can I get a drink too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
I'm gonna get a Nesquik strawberry. Well, if I can get a not Nesquik, that'd be better. A strawberry
Okay.
milk.
Okay.
Because strawberry milk rocks. Or
True. Yeah.
oh
I
no,
fuck
but
strawberry.
what if I want a sparkling water?
Oh.
You know what? No, I have to be responsible.
Mix the
because
two
I'm a
together.
sticker. I have to be. No, I have
Have
to
you
be
had
responsible.
sparkling milk? Actually, like, let's talk about it.
I have to. It will be a throat coat. Tea.
Abomination.
It's crazy. It's great.
Tea for me.
Okay.
Because that's what I got to drink. Throat coat tea, and then those little chocolate quinoa crisps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't feel like shit when I eat them.
Fuck with it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is I feel like one of the most important things about getting from gas station to gas station on tour is
Mhm.
trying to not feel like absolute garbage.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's me a hot throat coat tea and some chocolate quinoa crisps.
Solid. Yeah.
This is going to be a dream gas station where they definitely have these items.
Okay.
Some of these you don't find everywhere.
Mhm.
I'm getting a crispy apple pie Big 100,
Okay.
which is like a protein bar.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. That's so. Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Mhm, mhm.
And then I'm getting a Gatorade that is
Mhm.
the only flavor of Gatorade that I get, which is the limon pepino, lime cucumber, only
Is
available.
that the white one? Oh, it's
Because
green.
Pale
Shit.
green, yeah.
It's
Fuck.
only
Okay.
available in the southwest of the U.S.
Oh,
It's a
So
good
good.
flavor.
Hmm.
It's a good flavor.
solid.
This is so easy because of how often we've done it. So yeah, this is like no imagining. Just gonna tell the truth. One, almost certainly I'm driving,
Mhm.
which will come into play at the end here.
Oh, I got
While I'm driving, I'm gonna walk in. I'm gonna get a sugar-free Red Bull
Mhm.
and a Jack's Link's meat stick,
Mhm.
and then after we're done filling up, we're going to go to the nearest Taco Bell that I have routed us to.
Yes. Solid.
Hell
Yeah.
That's the real answer here.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And what are you getting from Taco Bell?
I've never been asked an easier question in
Can
my
you get
life.
me a crispy cantina chicken taco, please? And if it's
Yeah,
not
it's a large
too late,
Baja Blast soda, not the slushy. Be real.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, for real,
beefy
like, come
five-layer
on.
burrito. Yeah, beefy 5-layer burrito, beef stacker, and a cheesy chicken, 3 cheese chicken flatbread melt.
Mm.
Variation fully allowed, but
Here's how
the good
often we go to Taco Bell.
Mhm.
Ivan, what is my Taco Bell order?
It has evolved. You fuck with the grilled cheese burrito. You fuck with the beef stacker. Recently, you had that green sauce decades burrito. That shit smacks. You may or may not be liable to get a medium Baja Blast soda, and obviously a cheesy bean and rice burrito.
nice.
Hell yeah.
For a moment there, you were also getting you're going between the grilled cheese burrito and the cantina chicken burrito.
Right.
But I guess it's really, what the heart's
This is our Live Moss liaison right here, man.
Yeah.
It's fucking beautiful.
Dude,
Yeah.
shout out Taco Bell.
For real.
Oh, shout out Taco
Yeah.
Bell.
Yeah.
Shout out
Throw
Taco
us
Bell.
both sponsors, please, for the love of God.
Oh,
Genuinely.
God.
Yeah.
We're begging.
We did
Giving that
sponsor
place too much
Taco Bell.
money.
Yeah, we did get Feed the Beat on our last tour.
We
Nice.
ate Taco
Oh,
Bell
that
fuck
shit-
yeah.
every
That
day,
lasted us 2
literally
weeks.
every day.
Ooh.
Those 2 weeks.
That's
Sometimes
fucking
twice a day
awesome.
if we could emotionally handle that.
Yeah. Oof.
Which
Fucking
I
love it.
can. I can emotionally handle.
Yeah,
I
come on.
personally.
Yeah.
I would hang a big ass Taco Bell banner right over that Gravedigger thing if they gave us $1 million. Honestly,
Dude, I
they
get a
could give us
fucking face
$10.
tattoo for it. Yeah. No. It's fucking crazy. Holy shit. So,
Ivan's going to get some swag right now. Whatever swag is closest to him.
oh my god. Like that
Sure
ass?
you got something.
No fucking way.
Like I said, live Moss liaison. It's
Ivan,
it's
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 not
not
working.
focusing.
not focusing.
Sit down and there you go.
Oh
baby.
my god. How the fuck? I want that, Loki. Like
That's hard.
I would wear the fuck out of that,
He's on the
actually.
inside.
Yeah.
Dong.
That's fucking awesome. I
Your
can hear the
audio-
bell.
I think your
Dude,
audio.
Oh yeah, you're muted.
When the when you order on the app and it hits you with that dong,
There
dude,
we go.
Mm.
best sound
Whoa, pause.
ever.
Let me tell you, brother. Don't I
Yeah,
know it?
We gotta get the dong into our live set.
Unfortunately, Bill Murray beat us all to it, but
No, but we can use
I
it.
think we
differently.
can.
Just put it somewhere in a breakdown.
Exactly.
I very shamefully didn't know about the app until like post COVID, but I am almost surpassing 20,000 lifetime points, and I'm pretty stoked on it.
God damn, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty up there. For the time that
You
I've
could
been
say
doing
I'm
it,
pretty popular on the Taco Bell app.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
yeah. Fully
I've
support
been
it.
known to be able to identify items out of the bag by feel. Fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
1,000%.
actually a fucking skill though,
Wait.
because they do not label my shit.
No.
Oh, no,
So-
They don't need to.
Yeah.
Literally
Yeah.
go in the bag and like he doesn't even like. There's been times where they've given us stuff extra by mistake, and he's
Mhm.
like,
This is crazy.
"This is not. Somebody didn't order this. Like this isn't." Like clearly, this is like a cheesy bean and rice, and nobody ordered this.
Like he's holding
Yeah.
two things in the same wrapper, and he's like, well, "This is what you ordered, but this is a beefy 5 flavor. No one ordered this."
The weight is
It's
off
like, how
on
do you
this
know?
one.
That's actually that's
How do
fun.
you know
That's
that
awesome.
was the correct item and that wasn't?
He's the Live
Yeah.
Moss liaison, man.
Live Moss liaison.
I guess I used to live on Taco Bell at one point because I am sitting at almost 20,000 points as well,
Jesus
lifetime.
Christ.
19,300 lifetime points.
Badass, man.
Yeah.
Mm. That's
Yeah,
fucking awesome.
see,
I didn't know
it's-
you were
it's-
actually rocking
it's-
like that. Dude.
Yeah.
Surprisingly easy to
Bane's
do.
got 'em.
I've been a Taco Bell guy for a long time, but I didn't know about the app for way too long, and then even then, I didn't realize you could. They only recently got on with checking in, and I didn't realize you could scan in your receipts. So I missed out on. It is unfortunately not indicative of my passion, depending on the sample size. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
sponsor me Taco Bell. I will have you tattooed on my body at some point. It's okay.
Literally. Yeah. Yeah. Fuck yeah. So for the last couple questions, we're actually gonna shift away from music if that's okay with you guys.
Cool.
Cool. All right. So we're actually gonna go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Well, obviously, we just talked a lot about Taco Bell, so I've done
We
my
did.
due diligence with them.
Mhm.
I will. This is going to seem pretty egotistical of me, but am I allowed to make it?
Sure.
You know what?
'Cause I would
Fuck
make-
it. Yeah. Yeah, you can make it.
Realistically, I would
Mm-hmm.
make it, and it would be a beef Wellington
Mhm.
with duck fat, mashed potatoes, probably just a humble bottle of like Old Vine Zinfandel.
Mhm.
Nothing crazy. Just good. Bogle, probably easy.
Mhm.
Maybe 7 Deadly Sins. And some like, oh, you know what? I'll import one thing because no one does it like them. The Din Tai Fung garlic green beans.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mm.
that's it.
solid.
Nothing
Fucking
more.
beautiful. Yeah.
But I'm eating the whole Wellington. That's
Of
important.
course. Yeah, it's your last
Every
meal.
bite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
I like to die on a full stomach.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm pretty hungry right now, and I think it's clouding. I think it's clouding my answers.
Mhm.
Because just I can't get away from, like, man, I would love just the right, like Leo's tacos, Al Pastor tacos. Um, I want it, and with like a bunch of green sauce. I want to be crying. I mean, I'm on death row, so I probably am crying, but I want
Yeah.
to be crying because of how hot it is.
Yeah.
Because I
Crying for
love
two
when you get in that
reasons.
state where you're crying and you kind of can't do anything but finish the meal
Hmm.
because you just have so much going on.
Yeah.
So I'd like to be locked into that.
Hmm. Beautiful.
But I don't know what to drink. Definitely something sparkling, either a real crispy sparkling water
Hmm.
would be nice. Or if I could get back that one mango vanilla IPA that Ivan
I
brought
was
across
gonna
the
say
street
it.
when he moved in with me in 2019, and it was like
Hmm.
3 o'clock in the morning, and I was stoned, and no one else was up, and all the lights were off, and I was watching TV, and I had this beer, and I was definitely watching someone play Halo
Hmm.
on TV, and I'd have this
Fuck
beer
yeah.
and being like, "Holy shit, this is so fucking good,"
Yeah.
and I'll never get that back. So
Fuck. I'm
that's
sorry.
that'll be really fun.
Yeah.
I'd like
Mm.
that.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm gonna say this would be from my. He's technically my cousin, but I just call him my uncle. Um, uh,
I thought
from
you
my
might say
uncle,
this.
from my uncle's restaurant, his off-menu fettuccine bolognese.
Mm.
And to
Yeah.
drink, I'll just have some high-quality H2O, baby. Some,
Mm.
God, Jesus
Boo!
Christ. Fuck.
Boo!
Nah,
Can I
shut
Okay.
say
up,
something?
Will.
Hey,
Can I say
hey,
something?
hey.
I'll have a
I would have won $1 billion on that bet.
no,
I had I should have written it down.
I did that.
Ignacio's fettuccine bolognese and fucking the Lord's liquid water. I knew you were gonna say it.
I did that for the bit. I probably honestly, I'd probably have. It's like terrible combo. Probably have just a nice crisp Coke out of the just like
Oh no, that's
cream
fair.
Coke
That
with
Yeah.
works.
ice.
Yeah.
Really, that's just the best drink.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I had a bad combo too, but it's death row.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you don't have to pay
Oh,
for it
yeah.
in the morning, so that's even
No.
better.
Mm-hmm.
And I've
Yeah.
done of asking the last question. Every single person I've spoken to have said that it is the most important question. What's your favorite color?
Oh, red.
Blue.
I'm glad you asked. Things have been changing for me recently. I find that I tend to play a lot of support roles, which I know I'm the lead singer of the band, but like even in this band, I find myself tending to like fill in the blanks, the gaps the other people are not filling in.
Mm-hmm.
And so growing up, my favorite color was blue,
Okay.
but I'm not gonna say that now.
Mhm.
Things have been really, really shifting in a yellow orange direction for me.
I'm
I don't know
saying
why.
yellow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, look at. Oh, hey, Tony. Tony,
Okay,
you're not a
don't
different color, but
look
come
at
on.
look at
Over
our
here, over
three
here.
screens right
Come on,
now.
come on, come on. Over, over, over.
It all the colors
Look at
are
this.
kind of
Look at this baby boy.
That's crazy. Oh my god, hello.
Hey.
That's
Sorry,
a
this
big
is
pup.
unplanned, but here he is.
That's awesome.
But
Fuck
yeah, I mean, like, I just recently had this made for me.
Nice.
Yellow.
Come on, yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Look, it's all of you guys.
Oh,
Say
look
hi.
at
Oh
that.
my god,
Um,
hi.
So yeah, this has been really rocking my world recently.
Mhm. With the cap.
And then we had these on our last record. We had a music video where we all wore colored jumpsuits
Mhm.
or colored sweatsuits that were tie-dyed by our friend Brian Jones, and I had orange for that, and I just looked like a big Cheeto in the sweatsuit, and yeah, that just somewhere along the way,
Mhm.
yellow orange started to take over.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So
All right.
there you go.
So as I said, that's all the questions you have today. Is there anything that you guys like to plug?
Our record Burnout is coming is coming out. Maybe already coming out. I don't know.
It'll be out.
It'll be out. Okay, yeah. Well, we got a new record called Burnout. That is, in my opinion, broad and vulnerable and sick. We're also going to be on tour with a band called Driveways in Southern California. If you're listening from Southern California in late February, playing a bunch of great venues. Going to be playing songs off our record Burnout and Jump by Van Halen. And that is what I've got to plug.
Yeah. Listen to our album Burnout. Come see us on tour. We are going to be touring a lot in 2025.
Yeah.
We have some stuff potentially in the works that should be announced maybe in the coming weeks.
Okay.
Or some touring, certainly in the U.S. and maybe outside. Who knows?
Maybe.
Caption. Mhm.
But definitely touring a lot of the U.S. Within the next 12 months. So come see us on tour and buy a T-shirt from me at the merch table.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Silas. Guys, been good terms, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.